As the newly summoned entity turned towards you, it grinned malevolently and reminded you that you should never summon an entity put down yourself. You demonstrated that you can, in fact, put the entity down yourself.
So there I was, standing in the middle of my hastily arranged summoning circle, heart racing, as the smoke cleared to reveal the entity I'd just called forth. The air was thick with a sense of dread and the smell of sulfur. As it turned towards me, its eyes gleaming with a malevolent joy, it grinned, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth. "You foolish mortal!" it hissed, its voice echoing around the room. "You should never summon anything you can't put down yourself." Its laughter filled the room, chilling me to the bone. I have to admit, for a moment there, I was terrified. I mean, who wouldn't be? Here was this thing right out of a nightmare, telling me I'd basically signed my own death warrant. But here's the thing. I'm not your average hobbyist when it comes to the arcane and the occult. No, sir. I've done my homework, spent years studying ancient texts, and practiced every countermeasure known to the mystical arts. So as that creature loomed over me, thinking it had the upper hand, I couldn't help but smirk. "Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about that," I replied, my voice steady, betraying none of the fear that was fizzling inside me. It paused, its grin faltering slightly, sensing perhaps that I wasn't as defenseless as it had assumed. That's when I reached into my pocket and pulled out what looked like a simple, unassuming piece of chalk. But not just any chalk. This was a piece of the legendary lemon chalk, rumored to be made from the ground bones of saints and sinners alike, capable of creating barriers no entity could cross or break. With a swift movement, I drew a new symbol on the floor, right between me and the entity. The symbol flared with a blinding light, and the creature recoiled as if struck by a physical blow. "What is this trickery?" it bellowed, its voice now laced with a hint of panic. "No trickery," I replied, my confidence growing. "Just preparation and a healthy respect for the things that lurk in the shadows. I told you. I've done my homework." The creature raged against the invisible barrier, throwing itself against it with all its might, but it was no use. The symbol held strong, shimmering with an ethereal light. Realizing it was trapped, the entity's eyes shifted from anger to a grudging respect. You have bested me, mortal. But know this, not all will fall as easily as I have." With those parting words, I began the incantation to banish it back to the depths from which it came. The air grew colder, the symbol on the floor glowing brighter and brighter until, with a final deafening roar, the entity vanished. I stood there for a moment, heart still racing, but now with a sense of victory. I had summoned something I was told I couldn't put down, and yet here I was, standing tall. The lesson was clear. Never underestimate the power of being prepared, and maybe, just maybe, think twice before summoning entities from other realms.